Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about how to keep your parents happy and paying you, because that's what keeps you employed. And we all like that. So, as we've discussed in previous lessons, most of your students, if you have any decent volume of students at all with this kind of work, is going to be kids. You will have some adult students and some older students if you do enough of this kind of work eventually, but to have any volume of students, your students are going to be kids from grade school age through high school age or even young adults. So we want to keep their parents informed about everything that's going on with them so they are happy and knowing that their money is going to a good place and they're not wasting it. So let's jump right in. So one of the first things you can do, even if you don't have a concrete commitment from that student, like they haven't signed up, they're not on your regular schedule, is make sure that the parent is allowed to join in on the lesson. So they can, that way, especially if you just met this person like at the store a lot of the time, I'll get students to sign up because I'll just be walking around in between pockets of time that I don't have students and somebody be checking out an instrument and like, hey, we teach lessons, you want to get a free trial lesson? And I'll get them right in the room, and most of the time I get a sign up out of that. But especially if it's a young kid, they don't know you, no matter how friendly and accommodating you are, that's their kid, that's the most precious thing in the world to them. So the more that they trust you to be in a room alone with their kid, even in a public environment where at my store, they have the video cameras going so they can monitor what's going on in the room as the lesson is happening. They can't hear any audio, but they can see everything. So that's a safety precaution for the student, the parent, the store, and for you, and it's a good thing. It's very good for liability purposes. But even so, some people will definitely be iffy about that. So if they can join in and just sit there and observe and get an idea of what your teaching style is like and your methods and the way you work with their kid, and then tell them about all the parameters of the program, like the payment schedule and et cetera, et cetera. They're always going to have some questions, and that just gives you a better way to present yourself, and it makes you look better than if they didn't sit in on the lesson. So that's definitely in your favor. So if that's an option for you, I would say go with it. It's probably going to get you to get the student to sign up more so than if that didn't happen. Some kids don't do as well with the parent in the room. They're uncomfortable or it just distracts them. But that's a case-by-case basis. But if the kid's all right with it, then I say by all means go for it, because it's going to set you up to look better and to get you more students. Second thing to keep the parents happy is make sure that you keep them informed of every step of the progress of the student. So make sure that after the lesson, or even before the lesson's over, have them come into the room and, like we said about in the last episode, recording the lesson or the examples on their instrument so that they know exactly what to practice. Have the parent come in and do that on their phone if the kid doesn't have a cell phone. But also just to recap what you worked on that day, whether they handled it good or bad, and even if it wasn't a good lesson, build it up to where, it's just they had an off day. Always be building and encouraging. Don't, even if it's a negative to where you have to say that they're not doing so well with something, don't make it a big deal. Just tell them that's an area that needs improvement. Always be positive, unless you just have no choice but to be direct and say that their things aren't working out or whatever. It's rare that I've ever had to do that. And make sure that they know what the kid's working on so they can possibly help them at home if that's applicable. Show them how to read all the charts and all the terms and everything so that they know what to communicate, so the same information is being conveyed to them when they're trying to help them at home, because that's a big thing. The kids have a hard enough time understanding it from you, so make sure their mom or their dad or whoever's helping them, could be grandma or somebody, is informed equally as well so that the information conveys like it needs to be. The other thing you can do to keep them happy within general guidelines is the scheduling. Be flexible to a reasonable degree. Don't jump through hoops unless it's a client that pays extremely well, this is on your own time, like on your own private clients outside of the store, because the scheduling is going to be controlled at the store by your, or this, like an independent music school, by your availability and the days you're already there. So you're going to have your schedule for the week most of the time ahead of time, and you're going to know what it is. That can also change at any given time. It's always fluctuating. You're going to expect to be teaching for 5 hours today, and then due to whatever, 2 hours of your students cancel, they're going to call you so you don't come in until 3 today instead of 1 like you were planning on. That part of the job sucks because you're expecting so much income for the day, and then it gets practically cut in half because of just random bullshit. But that is part of this job. But when you are flexible with the scheduling with your private clients, they're always appreciative of that, because these people are so booked that it's ridiculous, especially if they have more than one kid, or especially out here in LA where everybody is overbooked. It's just more appreciated, and they are definitely thankful for that. Just don't inconvenience yourself or make it to where it's a burden on you. Make sure it works within your own schedule. But as long as they're going to pay you and they're happy and it works out for you, and you can balance it with your other students or whatever other work you're doing, then by all means that's going to be in your favor. So let's recap. The first thing you want to do is, if at all possible, make sure the student is got the parent in the room with them, especially if it's a brand new student, and just get that rapport going right away and inform them about everything. It's going to make them trust you more. You're going to be able to get a better rapport with them right from the get-go. 2, keep them informed of everything that is going on with the student, like the student's progress, lack of progress, etc., etc. Practicing difficulties, you name it. Just to make it to where they just know every parameter of what's going on, or at least let them know everything that they want to know about it. They're usually, it's their kid, and it's something their life is being enriched by, so they're going to be interested in what they're actually learning. And then again, with the scheduling, just be flexible within reason. Don't bend over backwards unless it's worth it to you to do that. And once you have enough of rapport with the client, they're going to be respectful of you too, and they're not going to inconvenience you if they don't have to. There's going to be inconveniences because it's just this kind of work has them. But that's any job. Especially like with my private clients, I drive to their houses. So that can be an inconvenience in the first place, but that also pays better. That's a future lesson because of the added travel time and the convenience of going to them versus them coming to you. So that's all for today. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the subscribe button and click the bell, and we'll see you on the next lesson. Peace.